So basically she had gotten cancer, and my business, I wouldn't say it really fell apart, but it just kind of stayed where it was without completely, there's like something on my screen, it's driving me nuts. Didn't fall apart, but it just kind of was at a standstill. And it's been a year, and she actually passed away. So I talk about it lightly when I do these calls because I try to get through it, but I feel like that's important for you guys to know because it kind of leads me to where I am and the person that I am today. So she passed away a year ago, and it's been crazy. I feel like there's been so many ups and so many downs, and you know, it's been a year, and it's just time to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. So it's been absolutely terrible. It's like, it's almost like, can you have the worst 2 years of your life and like the best 2 years of your life at the same time? It's like, it doesn't make sense, but that's my life, and it just is. So that's kind of what's been going on over in the Marie land. And so with that being said, tonight's topic is how to start the month off right. You know, like, what do you do? And I sat here tonight and I made lists and I pulled out trackers, and I was like, it's kind of like when you tell people like about your challenge, right? And we want to word vomit all of this stuff about Shakeology and all the ingredients that are in Shakeology. And then you think all of a sudden everyone is going to just jump on board, because I don't even know what's in it. Like, I know it's good for you, but I don't know. They say drink it, I drink it, right? I know it's in it, but I'm saying, like, you know, if I was to rattle off all the stuff that was in Shakeology, do I think that the customer would buy it? Probably not. They want to know how it's helped you. And I feel like it's the same thing when I was preparing for this call tonight, right? Like, could I rattle off all the 50 things that you need to do to be successful? Probably. But you have me as your coach, you have Carrie as your coach, you have Bailey as your coach, and you have Courtney. So it's almost like you already know what to do. So where do we start? Like, right? Where do we start when there's all this noise on Instagram? There's all this noise on Facebook. And there's all this recognition and all these things that we need to do. And shit, guys, my pile about what to tell you what to do is stacked off my desk, right? So I feel like if we always do what we do, we always are going to get what we get, right? So where do we start? And I feel like it starts here. It starts in our headspace, right? It starts in our headspace, and it starts with our mindset. And like Shanti always says, if you can get your mind right and you can get your mind to do the steps, it's like your body's going to follow. And I feel like your business is going to follow. And when you work out, it's like it filters into your relationships, and it filters into your family, and it filters into your finances, and everything falls into place. So where do we start? Do we start with the tracker? Do we start with the ingredients of Shakeology? Do we start in the stuff? No, I feel like we start with our mind. Because guys, I mean, excuse my language, but I've been completely mind effed, like ridiculously, without getting into details, pretty hard for the past four to 5 years. And I'm like, so how have I gotten this far, and how has my team gotten this far? And I feel like what we need to do is we need to get our head right. So the first thing that we need to do to set our month off right is we are going to have to pick a program, right? We are going to have to pick a Beachbody program, and we're going to do it from start to finish. Now, I might have some naysayers out there and say, shoot, Marie, you got to top 50, a Star Diamond coach. You know, I was so close to elite, I didn't even know I was that close, and didn't hit it, you know, so what? And well, you didn't do that, but think about if I had from the beginning, right? Think about if I had done that from the beginning, how much further along would my business be? So I was like, okay, I see stuff going on in the chat, and I'm like, total squirrel. Okay, I'm like, total squirrel. Now I hear my fish tank, we're done. Okay, just kidding. But yeah, and I'm like, you know, like, what are we gonna do? So I'm like, okay, fine. You know, my business has been at a standstill. I've been trying not to drown. So what am I gonna do? I'm going to pick a program, and I'm going to do it from start to finish. And that's hard for somebody that sees a squirrel running by. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I started out with, not really started out because I've done every program. I've done them. I've I've worked out every day. Let's say that. And I was like, you know what? I see these coaches and they're like, Transform 20 changed my life. I did it from start to finish. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So I picked a program and I did it from start to finish. Now, from time to time, I will have coaches that try to do that. And then they will say to me, well, coach, I've got to quit. I can't do it because I hadn't worked out in a week and my dishwasher broke and my kids are up all night. And it's too hard for me because I have so much weight to lose and I don't have any money and my life is falling apart and my husband this and that. And I'm like, well, girlfriend, you have quite the mess, don't you? You turn that into your message and that is what makes a coach, right? What makes a coach is not the coach that shows up every day at 6 o'clock in the morning and I was like, I won the day. Because if you do that, think about your audience, right? I'm thinking about myself before I became a coach. I was a tired, broken mom that couldn't get anything done. So if I saw you doing that and only showing up on the good days, the first thing that I'm going to tell myself is that's too hard. Wait for you. Good for you. Good for you, Caroline. But that's just, or Sarah, but that's just not me because that's too hard, right? So like, I'm not going to be able to do that. So what do? We show up on the days that it sucks. We talk about the days that it sucks. If your marriage is falling apart and you're broke, do you have to tell the world that? No, because it's nobody's business. You want to do, I just talked my earring out. But you want to show up, you want a breadcrumb, and you want to talk about, you know what, today was hard, but my accountability group was there, and I pushed play anyway. Or I didn't push play, and I ate all the tacos, and I struggled. So we pick a program, and we show up on the days that even if it was hard. You don't have to air out your dirty laundry, but just show up because that's what people want to see. And that's exactly what I did. Some people were shocked by it. The day after, my sister passed away, actually that night and that morning, I woke up and I'm like, I'm going to do insanity. Didn't make sense, right? It didn't. But it was part of my story because that is the story that allowed me to be able to get up and keep functioning. And I know that there was hundreds of other women out there that struggled because they couldn't get up, because they were in a bad relationship, because they were dealing with abuse and they couldn't do it. And that's why I did it, right? And people saw that. I wasn't trying to be a martyr, like, look at me. I was just trying to show people that this was hard and this is what I did, okay? So if you're feeling like you're watching someone like Bailey or you're watching someone like Courtney on their chapter 10, when you're on chapter 1, it's okay to be tired. It's okay to not show up for a week, right? You may not have a story where you beat anxiety yet. You may not have a story where you dug yourself out of a relationship yet. You may not have that. And that's okay because that's part of your story. But eventually you're gonna build that fire because you're in it. And it's gonna eventually, like, your fire's gonna change to like a positive flame that's gonna like ignite others, right? So we pick a program and we do it from start to finish. You're gonna have so much to talk about. If you're eating healthy and drinking Shakeology, you're not gonna not know what to post, right? Like, I don't know what to post, coach. Did you work out today? No. Did you read a book? No. Is your business failing? Yeah. Okay. Like, if you work out and you start eating healthy and you go to the grocery store and you buy some, I don't care if you buy pizza bites and you buy a bunch of salad and chips, whatever, put it all out there that you went to the grocery store and you're making some small steps because that's what people want to see. Okay. So we pick a program and then we have to read personal development. And this one always blows my mind because there's people out there that are like, I don't need to read personal development because I'm a psychologist, or I've read all the books, or I already know that, or I know what I need to know, but I don't do it, or whatever. And then we have the people that I find are like, you know what, coach, I tried this for like 2 months and nobody wanted to join me. Do you know what I say when people say that? It's almost like, no kidding. Did you think people were going to join you? You're a new coach. Like, are you confused that you're talking to strangers on social media and everyone is telling you no? I'm not, because I would not join you if I didn't know you and you just started talking to me for a month, right? Like, did you join us right away? Probably not. So when I'm reading books like, for example, The Compound Effect and Go for No and The Art of Not Giving a Fuck and books like that, I'm going to know that eventually, as I'm planting seeds and I'm consistent with my journey, and I had a chapter 1, that chapter 5, 6, and 7, where people start to join me and I start to build a team, are going to happen because I'm listening in the books, and it makes sense because I'm like, oh, like when I started reading books and I'm like, there's other women out there that are stressed out moms that built a business. Are you kidding me? I was shocked. I was shocked that there was other women out there that felt like I did. I was shocked that there were businesses that people were making 6 figures and then all of a sudden they were losing clients and their business was falling apart. I was like, oh crap, because that's how I felt, you know? And when you start to educate yourself in your mind, you start to understand that these things are real and you start to understand business. And those things are so important, guys, because I honestly feel like I don't care if you're quote unquote, we change lives, right? We don't sell. So I don't care if you're selling pens or if you're selling Shakeology. I feel like it's important to understand business as a whole. Peaks and valleys and compound effects and going for no and all of those things are super important. So a suggestion that I have for you is it's great to read books like Girl Wash Your Face. And I read those all the time. And it's I always say T is for transformation. I think that's what it is. The Shaun T's book and things like that, because it helps me work through issues that I have or problems that are going on in my life. But I also feel like it's super important to read books about business, you know, because it helps gain such a better understanding of what we're doing, and you're less likely to quit and feel like you're the only one that everyone tells no, or everybody, like your best friend stops talking to you, or things like that, because I thought that was only me. So for a recap, what have we talked about so far? We've talked about picking a program from start to finish. So in the chat right now, just to make sure that everybody is still here, because it's already been 20 minutes and attention spans are good for like 18. In the chat, I want you to put there what program you're doing from start to finish, and what books are you going to read, or what book have you read that has helped you, okay? Now, for those coaches on here that may not be a new coach, maybe you're a star diving coach or you're going for elite, make sure that you're taking all of that information that you have read, those books that you have read, and you incorporate those into your post, right? That gives you content to take your post from surface level to peeling back that onion to get to that next layer. And people say to me all the time, like, man, girl, your posts are so good. Or where do you come up with these ideas? I don't come up with these ideas. Barnes & Noble does, right? And then Barnes & Noble and my Hot Mess Express life come together, and that's what gives me the slight edge. So you gotta like put those things together. All right, so we started the month out right. We have a workout program. We have a book. And we're being proof in the product. And I want you to assess yourself for a second and assess your business. Is everyone telling you no? Because Shakeology is too expensive. Is your account inactive? Is your account inactive to where you're not drinking it, but how can you expect other people to join you and drink it, right? So making sure that you're proof of the product. Making sure that you are living and doing what you say you're doing. You don't have to be perfect. You just got to show up, girlfriend, right? So, and the other thing is going over the vitals is recognizing other people and other challengers. Now, this next little section here is kind of like, I feel like when I was a teacher, I always had to teach to, like, you had the children in the class that, had, were, say like chapter, not like learning disability, but people that were just starting out, and then you had people that were like top of their class. So you teach to everybody, right? And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do on this call too. So when you're recognizing people, the coaches that are signing up people all the time, they're like, hey guys, I just signed up Michelle. Let's welcome her to the group. Hey guys, Anna is coach of the week. And then on Facebook, you'll see that 27 people saw it, right? But it'll only get like 1 like. We are a team and we are stronger together. And I firmly believe that this is not a one-person show. I've rebuilt my team twice. And when you're rebuilding and you feel almost alone because you're rebuilding maybe a leg, or you're rebuilding a leg with like one other strong coach that's over there with you, and you're doing these things, it's exhausting, right? Because you're over here and then you're over here and you're running over here, but we're stronger together. So and when you're starting out the month, this is another personal development book I read. When you give the people more of what they want, you get what you want. And that sounds dirty. I feel like it does. Just like when people say someone's a gold ship, I feel like that sounds like dirty. Like, here's Carrie Stillman, she's my gold ship. Like, that just sounds terrible, right? So what you want to do is, when you're recognizing people, it's so important you give people more of what they want, you get what you want, right? And without that does sound ugly, but the more people feel like, wow, they welcomed me to the team, I'm so excited. I just did Morning Meltdown 100 and she just was like, go girl, that was hard, you rocked it, right? Like, I comment on, for example, like Bailey's in my downline, but she's not my personally sponsored coach, but I comment on her stuff. And I don't have to comment, but just like a couple things, because the more happier they are, they feel better about themselves, right? So I hate it when I do recognition and like 2 or 3 people just like something, and the longer they stay on Shakeology and the longer they are involved in the group, the more volume that's going to be generated, and the more your team's going to grow, the further you're going to rank advance, and the more money you're going to make, as dirty as that sounded out loud when I said it. But it's true, right? But you want to do it wholeheartedly too. I care that Carrie's working out. I care that Emily's working out. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them do well. They're my friends, but they're also my business partners, and that is important. So having that community and being Team Beachbody and cheering one another on is so vital. So starting out the month right, what do we do? Where do we start? We start in chapter 1. And we just we proofing the product, we work out, we read our personal development, and we incorporate everything, okay? Now that sounds good in theory, but who here, by a show of hands, wants to make some money? Honestly, okay? You want to make some money? Well, you're going to have to do this, right? You're going to have to do the tracker, and you're going to have to do the unsexy, and you're going to not have to get caught up in glam coaching. And glam coaching is this shirt, this backdrop, this light, having a good present, talking about my cute shoes, doing listening to 1,000 podcasts, and you're on your story and you have the best stories ever. Well, you go, girl, because you haven't signed up a challenger in 6 months. That's great, but you got to do the unsexy. And who can tell me in the chat what the unsexy part of Beachbody coaching would be? And I love to call it the mastering the mundane. What would that be? What would that look like? Does anyone know? In the chat. Just put it in the chat. Yeah. Invites and follow-ups. Okay? Now, invites are starting the month out right. Okay. I know that my goal is with invites is get them down at the beginning of the month. There is nothing worse, and I learned it as a new coach. If you being up all night tired as fuck, mom. Yeah. I mean, come on, moms. Whose kids are really up all night? Like, come on. Your kid's up all night. That's not normal. Come on. I used to say that too, like, my kid was up all night. And they were up from like 3:15 to like 3:40. It seems like it's all night when it's 3 in the morning. Yeah, the behind the scenes work, those things like that. And doing those invites. Okay, now invites are surface level. I can sit down and be like, I invited 100 people. Well, good for you, Marie, because it takes 7 to 8 follow-ups with somebody to seal a deal, right? It really does. So you could maybe you need to start out this month, right, and be like, I've been doing all the things. I've been checking all the boxes, but my numbers aren't there. Maybe you need to go back to those relationships that you've built. Maybe you need to you need to go back to those relationships that you've built. You need to do those invites. You need to get on the phone with people. It's July 3rd and I'm at Success Club 12 right now. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, look at me. I'm saying that because I did the unsexy part and I got on the phone with people and I talked to them and I'm like, you know what? We've been going back and forth. This is so Instagram weird. Is it okay if I give you a call? And Carrie will tell you that I don't like calling anybody on the phone and I don't like talking to anybody. Like I'll be at the park and a mom will say, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I just work from home. Because I'm like, hey, it's going to talk. Like, he just sends you an email about this and keep it easy, you know? Like, it's just me, you know? And for my business to get to the next level, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start talking to people. And I got on the phone. Once they talked to me and they knew I wasn't just trying to sell them a superfood shake, you know, and that they were getting support, accountability, and nutrition, that is when everything all really came together. So some specific, if you're taking notes, what could you do to start this month off right? You could, number one, pick a program. What book are you going to read? You're going to drink your Shakeology, get your account active. If you're eating Beachbody bars to keep your account active, that's great. But I would suggest drinking Shakeology or Recovery because it's going to help you in your workouts. Recovery is the same place. I'm not putting Beachbody bars down, but I go through the spreadsheets all the time and I see a lot of people just getting Beachbody bars. Get something else. And it'll help you have more to talk about than the snack, right? That's just my soapbox there. But you're proofing the product, you're doing a workout, you're reading a book, and then you dig out this tracker and you're like, all right, what is this tracker? Oh, there's things on here that are going to help me move my business forward. And then you start doing the things, right? You start doing those things to set the month off right. Then, oh my gosh, we have a team calendar, you know? And I'm so passive aggressive. I know, it's just my nature, you know? I'll put the team calendar out that Bailey made, right? And then I'm like, nobody says anything. And then I'm like, really hope that helps. Just waiting for like one person to say thank you or one person to be like, I just put that all down on my calendar, right? Because nobody's probably doing that. Write down the calendar. Write down the what we're doing. What is the plan? Where are we going? What direction is our team moving in? You know, have a clear vision of what we're doing. So we have all that. We have the monthly calendar. We're going to do the things. We're going to do the things on the list. We're going to be working out. And then I promise you, you're going to have success. Is it going to take a while? Yeah. And if you feel like you're doing the things and no one's signing up and you're hitting a wall and you're doing the coach sneak peeks and you're doing the workouts and you're showing up on the stories and you're just doing everything and girl, you just need a win, then sometimes you need to talk to your upline or your coach and be like, you know what? I just need a win. What am I doing? What else do I need to do? And guys, it's just like the game of golf. I don't know anything about the game of golf, but I heard somebody say this one, okay? They said that when you golf, you could only be off like a millimeter from the ball going in the hole, right? So you could be doing all of these things, because there's a lot of them. And if you think about them all at once, you're going to quit. So make a list. And you're doing all of these things, but the ball is not getting in the hole, right? You're just not getting there. It might be something so small, like the conversation that I had with Carrie the other day, Steelman. This is so funny because she was telling me about what she talked to Lisbeth about. And then Lisbeth got 14 Success Club points. And I was like, dang. So what do I go and do? At the end of 4 days ago, I'm like, oh, I'm going to give that a whirl on my story. I'm at Success Club 12 in 72 hours. Because I was posting things on my wall, and then I was talking about things on my story, and then I was posting about something else, but it wasn't all the same book, right? So like my story was talking about, something on my wall, for example, was talking about being excited about this new shirt. And then my stories were talking about this new program is coming out. And then all of a sudden I was in Target, and then I was talking about I had this glass of wine, and then I walked a dog, right? It wasn't all cohesive. So for a couple of days, I was talking about this new program. I posted about the new program, and everything fell into place, and people got it. They made a connection. It made sense. The book had a point, and the story had a start, a middle, and an ending. I think you did say that, right, Carrie? You were talking about can you share a little bit about that? Because I hope I didn't mess it up, but you were talking about it all being bringing people to your story and bringing people to your wall or your post. Can you share a little bit about that for a second?
Yeah, basically driving traffic to driving your traffic to where the eyes are. So if you're putting all of your effort and time into your Instagram stories, but you just have a very small percentage of your followers who are actually watching that, one strategy you can use is use your Instagram post, and at the very beginning have something in there that says, check out my Instagram story today for more blah, 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 or for this free resource or something to get eyes going to your story. And then within your story, you'd want to drive traffic probably to a form, to your Google Forms, which means you'd want to bring that up. And then the Google Forms will be about,
and people will actually fill out the Google form. 16 people filled my Google form out. And I'll be honest with you, nobody ever filled that form out. And I had a good form, and it was on my link tree, and I'm go here, and 16 people filled it out, and that's where I was, the traffic was driven. So that was and it was the smallest thing. I was doing all the things, but maybe they weren't in the right order. So without the risk of overwhelming you, those of you that have been doing this for a while, hopefully you found value in that last part. Those of you guys that are new and have no idea what I'm talking about, pick a program, start sharing the peaks and the valleys of your fitness journey. Start developing that story and building from it. Following Bailey and myself and Carrie's process of the monthly calendar, doing the Team Push Rockstar School, going through that, everybody knows what that is, and then working your way over to the files tab in the coach group and doing the learning. But guys, in this business, knowledge is not power, action is. I didn't know shit and I got to Star Diamond, right? So you learn as you go, but you gotta go, right? Okay, so enough of all that, I guess. Does anybody have any questions? And then the group is on there. Let's see, yeah. Is that the Push School, Bailey?
Yeah.
So the Push School, and then in the learning tab of all of our coach groups, we have that for extending learning. And we've got about 5 minutes you can unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can type it in the chat.